The billionaire had just lifted his glass to toast the most significant business deal of his career when a young waitress paused beside him to refill his water. As she placed the pitcher down, she slipped a neatly folded napkin beneath his hand without meeting his gaze. Assuming it was simply part of the table setting, he unfolded it casually. 6 handwritten words stared back at him, and the color drained from his face instantly. "Listen, fake waiter, armed, left side." His heart hammered against his ribs. He fought every instinct to turn his head or scan the room. Across the ballroom, cameras flashed, the string quartet played on, and hundreds of powerful guests laughed and chatted, completely oblivious that one sentence on an ordinary linen napkin had just turned an elegant afternoon into a race against time. If you believe that courage often comes quietly, that kindness can be a lifeline, and that everyone deserves hope and a fresh start, please like this video, leave a thoughtful comment, share it with someone who could use encouragement today, and subscribe to my channel for more emotional stories that remind us what really counts. 50-year-old billionaire Adrian Whitmore had built one of the largest clean energy companies in the country. He was admired not just for his business acumen, but also for his philanthropy, funding children's hospitals, scholarships, and disaster relief efforts. That sunny afternoon, he was hosting a charity luncheon at the historic Grand Regent Hotel, where leaders from across the nation had gathered to announce a partnership that would bring electricity to hundreds of rural communities. Among the catering staff was 27-year-old waitress Hannah Collins. Most guests noticed only her warm smile and efficient service, unaware that Hannah had grown up helping her father, a retired police detective who, after an injury ended his career, had sharpened her observation skills from a young age. Instead of bedtime stories, he taught her how to spot unusual behavior, remember faces, and stay calm under pressure. He often said that paying close attention could save a life long before bravery ever got the chance. Hannah never imagined those lessons would one day be put to the test. As she carried drinks through the ballroom, she noticed a new waiter who seemed out of place. His uniform was correct, but his shoes were different from everyone else's, and his name badge sat slightly crooked. More tellingly, he never served a single guest. Instead, he kept positioning himself near Adrian's table, his eyes fixed on the security staff rather than the attendees. When another waiter accidentally bumped into him, his jacket shifted briefly, and for just a split second, Hannah caught what looked like the outline of a concealed object beneath the fabric. She didn't want to jump to conclusions. Maybe she was wrong. She quietly informed the banquet supervisor, but the supervisor dismissed her concerns, explaining that dozens of temporary workers had been brought in for the event and warning her not to cause alarm during such an important gathering. Hannah glanced back toward the suspicious man. He had moved even closer to Adrian. Time was running out. Unable to alert security without drawing attention, Hannah grabbed a clean napkin and scribbled the only warning she thought Adrian could understand without causing panic. "Listen, fake waiter, armed, left side." She calmly placed it under his hand while refilling his water. Adrian read the message. His expression did not change. He gently thanked her and continued his conversation as if nothing were amiss. Years of leading major corporations had taught him that panic often creates more danger than the threat itself. Instead of looking toward the suspect, Adrian quietly pressed the emergency assistance button concealed beneath his wristwatch, a discreet device linked directly to his security team. While the guests continued their lunch, plainclothes security officers began repositioning themselves throughout the room without fanfare. One approached the suspicious waiter under the pretext of needing help in the kitchen. The man hesitated, then suddenly tried to bolt. Security subdued him before anyone nearby even realized what was occurring. Police officers stationed outside the event immediately moved in. The entire situation was resolved in moments, with no injuries and no public alarm. After investigators secured the scene, they determined the man had gained entry using a stolen catering identification badge. Authorities recovered evidence suggesting he intended to approach the billionaire by posing as hotel staff. His exact motives remained under investigation, but Hannah's quick observation had allowed security to intervene before the situation could escalate. Most guests never knew how close the celebration had come to catastrophe. The charity announcement went ahead later that afternoon, once the ballroom was declared safe. When everything had settled, Adrian quietly sought out Hannah. He found her clearing tables as if nothing extraordinary had happened. She apologized for disrupting the event. Adrian smiled and told her she hadn't disrupted anything. She had protected hundreds of people simply by noticing details everyone else had overlooked. Curious, He asked how she had spotted something that all his experienced professionals had missed. Hannah shared the lessons from her father and admitted she had almost ignored her instincts for fear that no one would believe a waitress. Adrian thanked her for choosing courage over silence. Weeks later, he invited Hannah and her father to visit his company headquarters. During their conversation, he learned that Hannah had always dreamed of studying criminal justice, but had postponed university after her mother's illness left them with overwhelming medical bills. Determined to help without undermining her dignity, Adrian established a scholarship program to support students pursuing careers in public safety, emergency management, and community service. Hannah became its first recipient. She completed her education and went on to join a community safety initiative that trained hospitality workers to recognize suspicious behavior, respond calmly, and communicate concerns effectively without creating panic. Her workshops eventually helped thousands of hotel and restaurant employees gain the confidence to protect guests through careful observation and teamwork. Adrian often attended the graduation ceremonies for those programs. Whenever people praised Hannah's courage, she reminded them that heroes rarely wear capes. Sometimes they wear aprons, carry serving trays, and simply refuse to ignore what feels wrong. Before this story ends, we would love to hear from you. Have you ever trusted your instincts and helped prevent a serious problem? Please leave a meaningful comment below, because your experience might inspire someone else to pay attention when something feels off. Years later, as warm afternoon sunlight streamed through the ballroom during the annual charity luncheon, Hannah watched a new generation of hospitality workers serve guests with confidence, practicing the awareness skills she had once learned from her father. Adrian smiled from across the room, realizing that the most important message ever delivered at one of his events had not been written in a contract or spoken from a stage. It had been quietly written on a simple napkin by a waitress whose courage proved that small actions can protect countless lives. If this story moved you, please like this video, leave a meaningful comment, share it with someone who needs hope today, and subscribe to my channel so you never miss another emotional journey. Remember, true courage is often silent, and the smallest warning given at the right moment can change everything.